Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about a very important struggle that people go through in their lives. They don't like to admit it, but people struggle with this one thing. They carry that baggage very heavily on their backs. But today I'm going to tell you what that is and how to get rid of it and walk freely because God wants you to have that freedom, enjoy that freedom. Because in John 3:17 it says that Jesus came not to condemn any one of us but to save us through his son. So that's what we are going to experience today. So the topic I'm going to talk about is guilt. Guilt, because none of us are perfect, right? We don't have to deny that. Yeah, because at some point in our lives we all go through that heavy hearts of guilt. So what is guilt? We did something wrong, you did something wrong, and then you don't ask forgiveness. You think it'll be okay, it'll be fine, the pride comes in way or whatever. But there will be a point in life that no one will be impacted by it, but you alone will be impacted by that heavy heart. That will be very shameful, that can impact your life, that cripples relationships, that discourages you, that drowns you literally. And the psychologists call that, if you don't handle your guilt in proper time, the psychologists say that it can completely cripple a person mentally, physically, and spiritually. I don't think anyone wants to go to that level because, like I said, Jesus gave us a great promise. So why don't we fulfill that promise that he doesn't want to condemn anyone? The best example is from the Bible that I can give you today is from David. David sinned a big time and his heart was heavy. The guilt, it triggers all of a sudden. You don't expect that, at what time it triggers. Once the guilt triggers, a person feels like he or she is literally drowning. David felt like that. David felt like he was literally drowning in his life. And so he decided, no, I have to come out of this. Because David, being a big king, he can have the pride and say, oh, I'm a king, I can do whatever. But he can do whatever, but his heart doesn't allow him to do whatever because he cannot enjoy the rest of his life. So I'm sure many of you are not in a position to enjoy the rest of your lives only because of that guilt. So friends, you can come out of that guilt. David, you know what David did? Once he realized that he fell flat, he admitted that he's having a guilty heart. He's not able to enjoy any luxuries, any kingly things because of his heavy heart. So he admitted it and then he asked God to forgive him. See, our God is so good to forgive us. That is the reason he died for us on that cross. When we commit a sin, we have to take punishment for that, right? Any guilty person takes punishment for his or her sins. But Jesus said, you don't have to take any punishment. I will die for you on that cross. And he took the punishment for you and me so that we don't have to feel guilty anymore. But still, we don't ask forgiveness. And some people, they ask forgiveness, but still they feel guilty. I don't think you have to do that because then we are underestimating the power of God's forgiveness. So we are underestimating that. So today, just like David, admit your guilt. Ask God to forgive you. And he, with his open arms, he'll forgive you and transform your lives forever. There's a beautiful story about John Newton. Most of you know probably. He's a captain of a slave ship. And he was doing this for a while. Then one day he realized what he was doing is terribly wrong. His heart was heavy. It was very discouraging for him to think that way. Then he accepted Jesus and asked God to forgive him for all the sin that he was doing all these days, all the guilt that he's carrying in his life. And of course, God, with his open arms, he forgave John Newton. And you know what John Newton did? He did not stop right there. He transformed his life. He became a big advocate for anti-slavery, and also he became a minister. And he wrote this beautiful hymn that we all know, Amazing Grace, how sweet that sound. It saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Friends, you and I, we have a great promise that God is not going to condemn you. So leave that baggage right now today. Get rid of the baggage that you can't carry that anymore. It's too heavy on your back. Admit it, ask for forgiveness, and transform your lives and walk a free, joyful, blessed lives that Jesus promised for you and me. And also, before I close, if you feel that you're blessed, share this video with others, and also subscribe to Shanti Edwin YouTube channel. The reason I say that is so that whenever I post a video, you'll get notified, and we can share more thoughts like this. And God bless you all.